Hi, I'm back. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but I've been really busy. I don't know if that's the universe giving me lots of distractions to stop me from doing something, or if it's just what it is, but I've been really busy. I just wanted to make a quick video just to go through some of the things that have happened lately while they're on my mind, and there's no particular theme or thought process behind this particular video. It's just a bunch of random experiences. So a week or two ago, when this whole virus situation was going around the world and everyone was getting freaked out, I decided to start recording a video where I had the idea that I would basically sort of like manifest a reality, that we could get together and we could manifest reality where the virus was no longer a problem, and we could all just like get together and like enter that reality, like go into a different state of reality where the virus just dissipated and disappeared from our awareness, and it wasn't a big concern for anyone anymore. And I started to upload it, I started to record it, but I didn't get it finished. And then I changed my mind. I decided not to upload it. And then later on that day, I sort of thought, is it really, is the virus really a terrible, evil thing? Is it a really bad thing? Do I really want to stop it? It's going all around the world, but does it serve some sort of purpose in our existence? Is it there to help others in some way? Is it there to educate or inform some of the others around us and help them sort of like raise their consciousness or become better people? So I had that thought, and then I was a little bit unsure whether I should record the video or not, but I didn't. And I didn't upload it. But then I sort of changed my mind and decided that I would allow things to continue, but instead of getting rid of the virus completely from reality, I thought I'll just do this on my own. I just sort of envisioned a state of the world where people started waking up to the idea that there's this fear campaign around it, and to help people sort of come to a better state of awareness, a better state of consciousness where they're not all freaked out about the virus anymore, and people start to sort of see the scare campaigns that are going around and use that to sort of help elevate their mind in some way. And then the next day, like, I look on Facebook and there's like heaps of people that have all posted things about all random things about the virus, and a lot of them were against the virus. They were all like, this is a big fear campaign. What they were saying sort of like matched up with my thoughts, and so I was sort of like this shift in consciousness, I guess, amongst the population around me, the people sort of in my immediate vicinity, either on Facebook or around me generally, where there was less of this people getting worried about, am I going to catch the virus or what's going to happen, and people started to sort of like the people who are probably, I guess, against the virus in the first place, or who thought it was a big fear campaign, all of a sudden they started speaking up, whereas they weren't speaking up before. So it's sort of like, I sort of like entered this reality where there's this slightly different perception, or different people started speaking up, and it changed the voices that I was hearing around me. It's hard to explain in words, but I think most of you will get what I mean there. So that was one thing that happened recently. Then, separate to that, I had an experience where I was watching quite a few of Krista's videos, and I quite enjoyed watching them and listening to them and thinking about all the ideas that Krista and Chappelle were presenting. But I just had this thought when I was driving home one day, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if, you know, it sort of feels like Krista was going like through this little bit of, I don't know, negative energy or something. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if she experienced this positive energy for a change, like a different vibe. And I just kind of had that thought or that idea that I guess I was daydreaming, you could say. And in that daydream, yeah, I just had there was like a certain energy about it, which was totally different to what I would normally experience when I would watch her videos. And then I got home and I ate dinner, and then like an hour later I go on YouTube and I have a look, and she's uploaded a video which was like 7 hours before or something, but she was talking about her day that had just been, so it was like a whole 24 hours or something in the past. So she was talking about something that had happened in my past, but it was she basically was saying how she had this brilliant day and everything was great and the sun was shining and everything was positive and she just felt like on top of the world. Like it was just a really great day. And I was just like, whoa, that's exactly what I had like envisioned her experiencing. But it didn't happen in the future after I thought about it. It happened in the past. So it's like did I create that reality in some way? Did I what's the word? Manifest that reality in some way? And if so, it means that I've manifested it into the past. I've not changed the now, but I've sort of changed the immediate past of the past 24 hours. So in her past, she's had a brilliant day. But then suddenly I see this video that's just been uploaded and it appears to me right now in my now present timeline. So that's one idea. The other idea is that maybe I didn't manifest anything, that maybe we're on the same sort of wavelength and we're sort of in the same kind of zone, and rather than me causing that to happen, maybe we're just like sort of like synchronized our thoughts in some way, and she was having a great day and then that great day kind of like idea appeared into my mind. And then the other possibility is that I can't remember what the other possibility is now. I had a third idea. So I thought it was really, really so coincidental that happened. It was just too coincidental, and I don't generally believe in coincidences too much anymore. It's like that, those things are linked in some way, and I just found it really fascinating. And then the same thing happened with Mike Infinity, who I follow his videos. I just one day I was thinking, I think it might have been in the morning or something my time, I was thinking like, I haven't seen any of his videos for a while. Wouldn't it be great if he uploaded a new video? And it was not a real like high pressure thing, like I really want him to upload a video, or I'm really sort of like trying to manifest it or something. Again, I was just daydreaming, and I just had that thought pop into my mind, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if he uploaded a new video? And I can't remember what my stream of thought was, but it was not a random thought that popped out of nowhere. Like I had actually thought about it. But then as soon as I thought about it, like my mind just drifted off to somewhere else. And it was only a short, brief thought. But then like I go home or I go to work or something, and then like hours later or the next day or something, there's a video from him that had been uploaded recently. So I asked him about it, and he said that he actually was just doing his normal thing. He'd been really busy. He'd wanted to make a video, but he hadn't really got around to it. And just that day, the thought popped into his mind, I need to make a video. And then he just went ahead and he just followed his intuition. He just followed that feeling, and he recorded that video and he uploaded it. So it's sort of like, again, did I manifest that reality through my thoughts? or are we synchronized in some way, or is it just a coincidence, or or what's going on? I had a third theory as well, but I can't remember it now. So that's something else that's happened. The other day, probably a week ago now or more, I was driving to work and my mind was really going like further out than it normally would. But then I sort of switched it to another topic. And then I was thinking about something and all of a sudden I heard this laughing. And like, I didn't have the radio on at the time, but the laughing sounded like it was coming from not inside my head. It was like outside of me. The laughing sounded like it was coming from the left of the steering wheel, just like in the center console. Yeah. My car's the opposite of your car, so for me the left of the steering wheel is the middle of the car. And I just heard this laughing, and it was very short, but it definitely sounded like laughing. And I don't know how to describe it. I could only describe it as like, it was almost like how you would think of like a witch laughing, like, ha, ha, ha. But it didn't sound evil. It was not like an evil laugh, but it was just like, it was unexpected. And it only went for like a second or two. But I swear I heard that, and it didn't really make sense where, like, it didn't come from me. It didn't come from the car. It didn't come from my phone. I don't think it came from my phone. So it's like, yeah, that was a bit random. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, I've been really busy at work. And then last Friday, a bunch of people, through a work connection, they invited me out to go out with them, celebrate someone who was leaving. So I followed them along, and we all did like laser tag first, and then I had some beers, and then we did 10-pin bowling. So we did bowling, but I'd been drinking a little bit, so my mind was sort of like a little bit happy in a slightly different place, but I still had my wits about me. But I noticed some things during bowling. I had this idea in my mind that I can't remember how I came to start about thinking about it, but this thought, I had this thought that maybe I could help this other person who was like not doing very well. He actually had like the lowest score out of everyone, I think, or the second lowest score, and but his bowling was like all over the place. Like he'd sometimes do all right, and then sometimes he just missed the shot completely, and he just kept getting really weird scores. Like everyone else was quite consistent, but he was just like all over the place. And he had one strike, but that was just a lucky thing, sort of thing. But I thought, like, can I help him? So I decided to help him without him knowing it, without telling him anything, and without like physically touching him or anything. I just observed him. And then like when he had the bowling ball in his hand and he was thinking about it, and I just synchronized my energy. I don't know how to explain it. I just synchronized my energy with his, like almost like I could feel his energy. And it was weird because his energy was like so similar to mine. It almost felt like we're like the same person. Me and him almost were like so close. Like when I was talking to him and stuff, like we look like different people, and you wouldn't really consider us the same. But like I felt like I was tuning in, and I felt like I could tune into his energy, and his energy felt like really familiar. But not familiar as in like, I know this person from somewhere, but more like this energy feels very similar to the energy that I and familiar with on a day-to-day basis. Like, it almost feels like it's my energy, like a very similar energy to mine. So anyway, I synchronized my energy with his in some sort of like psychic way or something, I don't know. And then I just kind of like I just popped that like perfect like concentration, like the bowling ball's going to go straight down the middle, and it's just going to hit straight in the middle, and it's going to be a perfect strike. And I just sort of like released that thought, like just like a second or two as he was about to bowl, and then he just did this bowl, and it just went down, and I just kept like putting out this thought of like, it's going to be perfect, it's going to be perfect, it's going to be perfect. And then it was like a perfect shot, and he got a strike, and and then he was like so happy, and he just ran around, and everyone was happy for him, and everyone was cheering. And yeah, it was just really good. Like, he just out of nowhere, he got a strike. He got a perfect score for that particular bowl, and it was great. And I was like, like, I didn't say anything to him. I just sort of like smiled. I was like, yeah, good, great, that's awesome, sort of thing, like from a distance. And everyone else is cheering him and clapping hands and stuff and whatever. But I just, in the back of my mind, I was just like, yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I contributed in some way. Like, I don't want to be like to like up myself or something, but I feel like I helped him in my mind. I helped him, and then in the reality that I observed, it was exactly what I wanted to observe, and that help that I gave him materialized the way that I expected it would. It sounds so weird, but like, I don't know, it just at the time, it all felt perfect. Like, everything felt perfect. Like, nothing felt out of place, nothing felt weird. It all just felt like so natural and just so me, and just gave him that perfect placement. And then that's exactly what happened. Like, and when you're rolling bowling ball down the thing, like, there's so many different ways it can spin, so many different ways it can go wrong. So it's like, what are the chances of that actually happening? Like, sometimes people do get lucky and they do get a strike, but it was just, statistically, it was like 1 in 10 or less chance that would match up with the time that I did it. And this, once lots of these things happen all the time, it's like the statistics go out the window, because it's like, when it's once off, it's like the statistics is like, well, that's a once in a million chance, or that was lucky, or that's all coincidental. But once, you have like a million coincidences, it's like, is this really coincidental anymore? Once so many different things happen, it's like, well, maybe it's not a coincidence. So anyway, so that was another experience. Oh yeah, there was at the 10-pin bowling, there was, I tried other things on other people as well. Not a lot, like, I wasn't doing it all the time, but I just tried like maybe 3 different times. So he was the first, I think. And then with one other guy, he seemed all happy enough talking to people. But when I went to like synchronize or like sense his energy, it was like, whoa, like, all of a sudden I was just like, whoa, this is like way down low, and his energy was just like so low, and I could feel that. I was like, that's what I was sensing anyway. My sensation was that his energy was just like, it was like 20% or 10% total of what the other guy's one was. It was just, way down low, and I tried to sort of like help this other guy, but instinctively I was like, well, I need to like raise his energy up first. So I tried to like raise it up, and then give him like, like a good happy sort of energy, and then give him a perfect ball. But it didn't work at all, and the ball went like flying like as far off as it could possibly be. Like, it was like the worst shot. And I think it was just like not that I was doing it wrong, but I think it was like there's so much contrast between his energy and where it needed to be, that I couldn't build it up that fast, and I couldn't get him into the right frame of mind psychically. If I can do that, I couldn't get him into that state quick enough. And even if I did, he'd have to accept it in his own mind somehow, and I don't know if he's ready to do that. So yeah, that bowling ball just went way off into the gutter as early as it possibly could. It was just like the worst shot. But I feel like it was, the energies were like too different, too contrasting, and it was like when you put a positive magnet against another positive magnet, and it's sort of like it wants to spin off or something. Like when you put it close, they'll sort of they'll oppose each other. But if you try and throw two magnets at each other really fast, and they're in the wrong, the wrong spin, the magnets will go flying off at like a high speed and in the wrong way, and that's almost like it feels like that's what happened for his shot. And then the other guy was like in the middle of the field. He was not winning the game. He was not losing the game. He was just in the middle of the field. And then he just kind of like came out of nowhere, and he started getting like good scores, and he was getting right near the end of the game. He started getting near the top of the scores, and everyone's like, oh my God, if this guy gets like 2 strikes or something, he's won the game. And it might have been 1 strike or 2 strikes, I don't know. And he went in, and he was all concentrating on his last go. For the last round, the 10th round, you get 2 shots, but if you get a spare or strike, you get an extra shot, you get an extra go. So he was like concentrating really hard for the first go of the 10th round, and then he just missed it completely. He got nothing. And then he went again. He had his second turn, so it's like, all right, now to win, he needs to get like a strike or a spare. And then I just like focused on him, and I just gave him like a little bit of a boost, but his energy was like way off. His energy was totally different to everyone else's. It had a different feeling about it, but it was already quite high already. It was already like way up high. So like I didn't need to boost it in any way. All I needed to do was just like direct the energy, direct him to just have that perfect shot a little bit. So I sort of gave him that little bit of direction through my mind, and then bang, he got like a strike. He got a perfect shot, and he was so happy. And then everyone's like, "Whoa, how did you do that? You managed to win the game." And then I think because he got a strike, then he got another shot, and I can't remember on the last one where what his score was, but that I only focused on that second shot of the 10th round, and and he got his strike. So the one that I focused on, that was the good one. I can't remember what happened after that, but yeah. So that was intense, and but it was fun. Like it was really fun to play, and it was fun for me to observe. Like everyone was just having fun, and in a great sort of mood, and enjoying the game. But I was like having fun from this higher level perspective, and just like having fun with these ideas that are popping into my mind. And yeah, I didn't think too hard about them. I just like spent like a few seconds going and what I thought materialized like instantly, and it was really great. But it was like I'm not helping myself here, but I'm helping other people, and it felt nice to help other people. So that was good. Still on 10-pin bowling, I wasn't even thinking about this, but I just remembered it again now talking about bowling. But the last guy, the one that won the game, he was having like psychic abilities, like predicting stuff. He was making predictions throughout the game, and his predictions would come true, and everyone's like, what the heck, are you psychic or something? Like his predictions were so Like he predicted like two things in a row, like, oh, this person's going to get a strike, and they did. And he predicted something else, and they did. And then the next guy came along, and he's like, all right, make sure you think about me getting a strike. And then he just jokingly said to the other guy, no, this guy's going to miss it completely. And then he went and bowled, and the guy tried his best, and he missed it completely. So this other guy that was making predictions, he made like 5 or 6 predictions throughout the game, and one of them he didn't even observe. He predicted it, and then he started talking to someone else, and like it came true. So I think like he might have got one wrong, but like all the other ones he predicted and he got it right. And it was like everyone was like really found it really funny that coincidentally he was predicting these things. So yeah, that was funny. Okay, so that was last Friday. This week I've been doing things with like sense. I'm all into like energy at the moment, like trying to like think about energy and what it could be, and what energies there are that like I might not have thought about before. Like is there energies that like control us, that we're attached to, or that are out there amongst us that that we can't observe with our eyes, we can't hear, we can't touch them with any of our 5 senses, but maybe there's like these energies that are there. And like, this whole energy sort of concept has been coming into my mind more and more lately. And so as part of that, I sort of have been playing with this sort of like energy between my hands, like moving energy between my hands, like having a ball of energy between my hands. It's that's another topic for another day. I want to do a video separately just on that alone, and I want to see if other people get that as well. But yeah, I'll do that another day. From like the whole positive versus negative thing, it's like for quite a while I was bouncing between like the negative aspects of all of these out there woo-woo things that are happening, and the positive versions of them. Like some YouTube channels, some people are very against a lot of these things and say that it's the devil, or it's there are these bad spirits that are out to get us, or that there's this love and light and all of that, but it's all just a trap, and it's all a trick, and it's all going to take us into a bad place eventually. So there's that negative aspect of what people theorize about, and then there's the whole positive aspect. People say, oh, love and light, and we're all going to be in a great place, and everything's going to be great, and we're all raising our vibrations and all of that. So I've been not in one world or the other world. I keep sort of bouncing back between one or the other. But lately with this sort of energy stuff, I've just been like in more of, I've just decided to be in more of a positive mindset for myself, because I'm like, maybe all of this is a trick, but at the same time, it's like, is it really a bad thing to wish well upon someone? Is it really a bad thing to wish for them to have a good day, and then they do have a good day? And obviously they can't be having a good day all the time. You can't, like Krista says, you can't be having a good day every day. Otherwise, like, what's the point in life? Because you've got to have challenges, you've got to have bad experiences, you've got to have bad days. Like Jen says, that feels like we're sort of part of the script, and every great script, every great movie is, I'm extending these thoughts into my own thoughts, but every great script and movie has got to have its bad characters, its good characters, its bad events and its good events. So yeah, I don't know. I sort of feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing to wish well upon others, and I've just been having fun experimenting with these things and having fun learning things. So I've been putting a little bit more focus into sort of like fun and joking and sort of laughing at things where possible, or seeing the funny side of things, and trying not to get too caught up in the negative aspects for now. There may be a spiritual war that's going on. There may all be all that negative side of things, but I kind of need to have a bit of a balance anyway. So if I'm spending all my time thinking about the negative things, then I won't learn about the positive things, and I won't learn how to do the good positive stuff. But if I do all the good positive stuff all the time, I won't really think about the negatives. Whereas maybe there are negatives, and sometimes it's important to realize that. Otherwise, you can't really help people out if you don't understand the negatives that they're going through, I guess. I don't know. This is just where my mind is going at the moment. This video is getting a lot longer than I expected, but those are all my thoughts from lately. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that people in the Mandela Effect community say things like, I can never talk to anyone about these things. I can find people online in this community, but I can never talk about these things to real people in real life. People say that, but I don't know. That hasn't been my experience for me. I'm not saying that I push people to tell them about the Mandela Effect or these woo-woo out there things. I just don't tell people this stuff. I just keep it to myself, and I've always been that way my whole life. That's just, my nature, is that I don't go around shouting all this stuff out. Even if I find out some amazing thing, the whole reality changing, so many people are tempted to just ask other people about it, or tell people other people about it, or they want to change other people's minds. But I've always sort of felt like that's a mistake. It never really matched my way of living. But I have noticed over the last year or so that I can usually sort of detect in the subtleties of people's wordings. They'll say things which are very interesting to me and are in the 3D world, but maybe a little bit slightly out there. And so I'll kind of just I'll go into their zone, and I'll go into their brain space, and I'll use their way of thinking, and then I'll just inject a little bit of higher level ideas into their stream of consciousness. I'll just give them a thought that they've never had before, but it's not way too out there that they can't accept it. I'll just give them like something that's like the next breadcrumb. I'll give them the next little clue that they need to evolve themselves slightly further. And when I do that, I don't really have any kind of karmic effects coming from that. I don't have any kickback. I don't have any like people getting angry at me. And so when I do talk to people in real life, I give them these little breadcrumbs and I help them along their way. But every now and again, someone will just bite it, and you can sense that they know a lot more than they're revealing, and you just respond with something that's a little bit like a few breadcrumbs further than what they would normally go, because you can sense it that they actually are a little bit out there as well, that maybe they are experiencing some of these things, but they're keeping it secret. So, that happened to me with one lady that I met a few weeks ago. I could just tell. I just had this feeling that she was experiencing things, and she has all the, like, she ticks all the right boxes. She's the right age. She's been through multiple, like, car accidents where she could have died but she didn't die. She is an out there thinker. She thinks for herself. She doesn't really follow other people's thoughts all the time. She's able to have her own independent thinking. And so she sort of ticks all the boxes for me, for someone who would experience out there stuff. And we're just talking a few weeks ago, having coffee and stuff. And then there was someone else there, so I didn't want to go too far into it. But then out of the blue, she just goes, what do you think of numerology? And I just went, at the moment she said that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this another step further. And I didn't even say, like, I think numerology is great or bad or whatever. I just went straight into, like, what do you think of synchronicities? You know, like, I took it a step further. And she's like, oh yeah, I get them all the time. And then it's just like bang, bang, bang. Because there was another person in the room, I didn't want to push it too far, so I had to sort of like keep a balance. But I basically gave her hints that I knew what she was talking about, and she gave me great hints that she was experiencing stuff as well. So, like, if I wanted to, I'm sure I could talk to her about stuff that's a little bit, maybe not totally out there, but like a little bit out there. And she's in real life. Like, she's not someone online. I could talk to her in real life if I wanted to. And then there's another person who I talk to, who I've been talking to for several years for various things. And this lady, it turns out, well, she asked me about the Mandela effect like a year ago, and I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't know what she was going on about. But then later on, I did find out about the Mandela effect, but she was the one who'd asked me in the first place. And so slowly but surely over time, we sort of built up into a point where, like, now we talk about everything. Like, there's almost nothing off the table. Like, we can talk about pretty much anything that's on my mind, and it's great. Like, it's great to have someone there in real life that you can talk to, and you can talk to them about this stuff. And even like some of my out there ideas about like energy and stuff, she's just like, bang, like that's it's exactly like what suits her. So it's like we have these great discussions about, like, you know, not the meaning of life, but like meaning of life type of conversations, and it's and just out there experiences and things. And it's really really fascinating, really, really fun. So people say that you can't talk to anyone in real life, but I think they just need to put their consciousness into a different place where they can find the right methods to be able to talk to people. For me, it's something I do naturally. Like, my whole life, I've been able to sense when I should be able to say something and when I shouldn't be able to say something, when I'm pushing the boundaries too far. And so I don't push the boundaries too far. I can sense the right things to say or not say. And I think other people will have the ability to do that as well. They just need to, like, twist their consciousness a little bit into that frame of thinking, and then they will come across other people that they can talk to in the real life. And other people in the Mandela Effect community have had this happen. Be the Change, I think, is the name of a channel. Be the Change, something like that. He had an experience where he came across this lady who put up this particular something in his workplace or somewhere he was working, and he asked her about it, and then she mentioned synchronicities of numbers, and then they started talking about all sorts of things, and the only thing she didn't know about was the Mandela effect. So he told her about that, but she knew about all this other stuff that he was experiencing. So yeah, it is possible. You can find people in real life to talk to. All right, so I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to stop recording because otherwise I'm going to go on forever. Thanks, and have a good day.